Hello, and welcome to Slinky's Riven Reviews. Today I got this wonderful dual automatic pistol Akzani to show for you. And what Riven mod do we have for it today? Well, I'm gonna show you. We have this very good Akzani Visitox, which is critical damage, toxin, and minus puncture, which is the main IPS type of the weapon. As you can see, we're removing the highest IPS by a long shot from it, and it's gone now. Sadly, it isn't negative impact, or the weapon itself isn't completely impact based, so we would be able to remove all the impact, but puncture is still a large margin of IPS to be removed, so we get a lot more elemental procs. So, which builds am I going to show you today? Well, let's start off with this corrosive build I made. Basically, since we already have critical damage on our Riven, we're not gonna add more critical damage in forms of prime target cracker. Usually it would still be a good idea to even consider adding prime target cracker, but the issue is that the Akzani itself has very low accuracy. So if, as you can see, basically when I shoot, it more or less shoots like a shotgun, just spraying its bullets everywhere. Adding prime target cracker would be, in theory, pretty beneficial, but only if we can hit headshots very consistently, which we really can't when we're firing over medium range, so adding prime target cracker wouldn't be that good of an idea, so I swapped it out for primed Expel of Corrupted in that slot. We're also adding Seeker to have punch through, so due to its high fire rate, the Akzani eats through its magazine very fast, and we want to get the most out of these 100 bullets we have. So I added Seeker so we can hit multiple enemies at once. Barrel diffusion, usually because we don't have any other source of multi-shot. We're not using lethal torrent because our fire rate is high enough already. Usually adding lethal torrent would still increase the overall DPS by a long shot, but in this case, since it only takes us 5 seconds to deplete our magazine already, and after testing I found out that you're not going to kill an entire row in under one magazine when you have lethal turret on there, it's more beneficial to just add more raw damage, which allows us to kill the entire row in one magazine, so we don't have to reload in between. Else, we just have Jolt and Pistol Pestilence. I'm not adding another Elemental 90 mod because the Riven already has a lot of Toxin on it, and Hornet Strike just to increase the raw base damage. Also, Prime Pistol Gambit, so we have any source of crit chance on here. So, let's see how this performs against our good old 155 heavy gunners. Guys, check this out. I found out something interesting. So, you don't really need to use Cataclysm to freeze all the enemies at once in place if you want to test with Stasis Limbo in the Simulacrum. What you can also do is just stand a little bit further away because it's apparently based on your range towards your enemies, and then just cast his first ability. It will knock them all over, but they will still be in the rift and perfectly aligned after they all stand up. So it also has a longer duration than just casting Cataclysm. So we're gotta go into our rift real quick, activate our stasis, and then let's see what this can do against these heavy gunners. As you can see, it kills them moderately quickly for any type of weapon. The closer you get, the better your accuracy gets, because, as I said, it has a very non-ideal spread the further you go away. So the closer you are towards your enemies will usually increase your overall potential and damage towards them. So let's try moving forward while killing these enemies. As you can see, we killed that entire row in one clip now. Let's try it again. Yeah, killed it in just about one clip. As you can see, we're almost out of ammo right now, and that's because Akzani has a very high base fire rate with not that much of an ammo reserve left in. So running Lethal Torrent isn't really recommended anyways, especially since you would just eat through your ammo way faster than it's actually needed. Okay, so now let's do a quick comparison against normal corrupted bombards. Right row with just standing still. As you can see, you start off a little bit slower because they don't have any innate weakness against corrosive, but after their armor gets stripped, you will start seeing the damage ramping up more as with the heavy gunners. So let's see, moving forward. Yeah, it doesn't really kill them in one entire magazine, but it's still very good. Let's swap out the Bane to test against some even tankier enemies. So, Dracharmanic Bombards. How will this perform against you? It's pretty much the same as with the Bombards, but with the difference that these have a lot more health. Also, not to mention that Dracharmanic Bombards have reduced ability duration on them. So, you gotta recast that Banish pretty frequently. Let's try it against them with Cataclysm instead. So, as you can see, the start really isn't that great because they really aren't any weak to corrosive damage itself. But once you get to strip a little bit of armor, even though they have insane levels of health, you're still dealing very good damage against them in comparison to other weapons. Okay, so let's move on to a gas build now. What do I have for this gas build? Well, obviously I'm still going to run the Bane, so the gas damage can be amplified by it. Since our Riven has Toxin, that will also increase the gas damage a lot further. Putting on Pathogen rounds is good because it's even more Toxin, also so is Pistol Pestilence. Scorch to form gas. Crit chance as always, Barrel Diffusion from a multi-shot, and Seeker to have that punch through. Alright, let's test against these. So, as you can see, it starts up ramping the procs. It starts ramping up the procs pretty decently. I'm on the third magazine now. Took me about 3 magazines to pretty much kill almost all of them. Yep, and it's it. Now let's test again against normal corrupted bombards. Which seem to be dying a lot faster than the heavy gunners because they have less normal health. And lastly, against these manic bombards. Which are obviously very tanky. Let's see if you're able to kill all of them in what this weapon gives us in terms of total ammunition. Well, We almost got it, but this isn't really something you could expect to do from a gas build against fully armored enemies that also has pretty sub-average ammo economy on the weapon. So, what kind of build would I recommend for normal missions using this not to flex in the simulacrum? So basically, the Akzani have below average ammo economy, so this is actually a case I would opt to use prime pistol ammo mutation. People always say that running carrier is a great idea, but in my opinion, you usually don't really want to run carrier because there are so much better sentinels to run. For example, Death Cube, which gives you energy if you shoot somebody and you kill it. The Jinn, which revives itself when it dies, so you have a long enemy radar and permanent looter up when you're going for endurance runs. Well, usually your Smida Kavat you use to amplify your drops, so running carrier really isn't that good of an option in general. So I would just opt out for dropping the Bane, which is usually an inconvenience for a lot of people, for prime pistol ammo mutation. With that build, you're pretty much set for like all normal missions, including sorties. And with the Seeker on there, you'll be able to just mow down tons of enemies without really running out of ammo, because that primed ammo mutation will just take care of that. And since the Akzani, the best thing the Akzani has going for it is its amazing sounds and its amazing feel when shooting it, you really have something that's fun to play around with. So that would be the build I would recommend for normal missions with this ribbon. Shoutouts to Leyzar Gaming, who made an absolutely horrible video on the Akzani, not only showcasing wrong builds, but also completely misrepresenting what kind of weapon we have here, so... TLDR, Akzani is a very fun weapon to use that deals very good damage for what it is, with a slightly not that great ammo economy, which is very fixable if you have a good Riven, which frees up your slots so you're able to slot in primed ammo mutation. Well, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below what you want to see next, and maybe follow me on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube. Well, take care and see you soon.